Stop sign. Turn left on North Gallery.
I'm here at this beautiful home in Beechwood Canyon, just south of the Hollywood sign, with my buddy Nick, and look at this place. This is gorgeous. And you look around here, this is money, right? And this is not just like, oh, we got some lucky breaks here or there. This isn't a technician who's blaming his tools kind of money. No, we're talking, this is every day is nice kind of money. Our money is working for us kind of money. We're talking, I know where my bread is getting buttered, my fish is getting fried, my mailbox has checks in it before I wake up kind of money. Which is perfect, because today we're talking about cash flow. Yeah, value. And the one simple tool I've used for 6 years to help a couple brands a year scale into and past 8 figures. Today, we're talking gift cards. All right, here we go. Yeah. Whew. All right, we're back at Disruptor HQ. Man, that place was gorgeous. And have a video coming with Nick here pretty soon. But let's get back to today. And we're gonna talk about the allure of the immediate gains of discounts and cash back. And let's challenge that conventional wisdom where performance marketers are favoring short-term metrics versus what growth marketers look at, which is long-term stability and scale. And this is where the performance marketers and the growth marketers really kind of come at odds. The heart of our discussion today isn't just about slashing prices or offering back-end rewards. It's about a fundamental shift in marketing perspective. So first, let's address that perspective. I want to establish 3 important things. First, the performance marketer's perspective. Performance marketers almost always focus on reducing acquisition costs to get those short-term metrics to look as good as possible. They often champion discounts and cash back as a way to reduce the customer acquisition cost, which is always seen as a great thing. Look how low our CPA is. Now, when we talk about the growth marketer's vision, we begin to shift that day one metric into long-term value. Growth marketers seek sustainable business growth and customer value, and ultimately attracting the best type of attention to get the most stable and projectable and predictable and scalable customer journeys. And what we're going to talk about today is how potentially attracting the highest volume of low-quality person at the front of the funnel might really be the reason that what happens in the back end of the business is struggling. So this really brings us to our third point, which is our core argument of the day. While performance marketing tactics might fill the funnel today, that does not necessarily lend us the best foundation to build long-term value. That doesn't necessarily help us build the foundation for the most successful tomorrow. True growth marketers will well beyond the first transaction, aiming to cultivate a customer base that is loyal by prioritizing value instead of price. Today, we're not just discussing another marketing tactic. We're opening a dialogue on how to elevate your approach to business growth. This is about choosing strategic depth versus superficial gains, and ultimately building relationships instead of just acquiring transactions. So let's explore how implementing gift cards instead of relying on just discounts and cash back can be a game changer in this quest for sustainable growth. So I want to start off with a very specific question. What is the value of a discount buyer? And if we want to make money, is making the best margin we can on day one really the best way to stack the bank account? Well, on the surface, performance marketing is all about getting the customer for the cheapest price. We also want to understand that performance marketing is ultimately a facet of a growth marketer's job. And a growth marketer's job, along with the CMO or vice president of marketing or whoever is responsible for the bank account in the business, ultimately, you're trying to acquire the highest quality customers that are of most value to you. And do so in a way where you can get the most of them so that you can ultimately stack the bank account. And what we're gonna start off with today is 3 simple points about discount buyers. And then we're gonna get into 3 case studies of how I've used gift cards in the growth of business. The first thing that we need to understand is that if you're acquiring customers where the inflection point that made the sale was price, then you are not going to be able to leverage features and benefits and quality and value to ultimately retain those people. And there are brands that are doing tremendous work on volume, but more importantly and more often, the businesses that thrive aren't actually the brands, but the marketplaces. This is the Targets of the world, the Walmarts of the world, the Amazons of the world, the place where these price-conscious consumers go to find the lowest number on the sticker and buy whatever that item is. The second thing we need to understand is that price-conscious consumers are almost always price-conscious. And why that really matters is if somebody's first purchase with your business is because of a discount, and maybe the second one is because of a sale, ultimately you're training that customer to wait for sales in order to buy from you. And why that really matters is because the LTV could be taking a 20 to 50% hit over time. And the third thing that we really need to understand is that price-conscious consumers overwhelmingly are the least brand loyal. Studies done by services like Retail Me Not have shown that people who are interested in coupons and gift cards and discounts are 50 to 80% less likely to buy based on anything other than price. For sites like Retail Me Not and Rakuten and Groupon, this has really been their unfair advantage. We're trying to sell access to price-conscious consumers to other businesses. But especially for businesses like Groupon, what was their unfair advantage ultimately kind of became their downfall because brands and businesses understood that when I give somebody a discount on Groupon, that person is probably never gonna come back again. And if you're trying to ultimately grow your business, you need customers to actually care about you. Because again, if you wanna get that big house, you need more than just money today. It's about money coming in on a consistent basis and being able to project that. So ultimately, the advantage of discounts and cashback is that you're reducing that barrier to entry psychologically for customers to buy from you. However, the type of customer that you're attracting is generally far less valuable. Now, to be fair, this can absolutely be weaponized as a tool for market conquesting. And with that being said, let's go to the first case study today that I'm going to share with you. So the first case study we're going to talk about today is a brand called 310 Nutrition. Now, when I got to 310 Nutrition, they were doing about 15 million. And look, that is tremendous numbers. And when I left 310 Nutrition about 20 months later, they were at a $100 million valuation. And that was pretty much all predicated on the growth of the brand around one amazing acquisition offer that was a $19 product. So let me unpack that $19 offer for you. So in this $19 offer, we would actually give you a $15 shaker cup and a $10 gift card along with 6 sample packs of our shake. Now, full disclosure, that $15 shaker cup was like 89 cents landed and that gift card cost us less than a penny to make. So one of the reasons this really worked for the business was because most of our customers, this wasn't the first time they had bought meal replacement shakes. And to be fair, for your business, what you sell is very rarely the first time somebody's ever bought that type of product. What we found was an overwhelming number of our customers, what they were doing was seeing if they liked the taste, if they liked the vibe, and the fact that we had a several 100,000 person community, and the fact that we gave you gift cards, and the fact that we gave you ebooks, and we gave you access to lifestyle and health coaches and nutritionists ultimately meant that you could buy into it and be part of the community, part of the club, and emotionally attach yourself to the business. And when we added in the gift card, the average customer went from being worth maybe 80 to 100 bucks to being worth several $100s. And here's why. Now, this $19 offer was actually set up as an 80% off offer. Now, I know there's a discount, but here's the thing. When you got that, you were getting 80% off, but for 19 bucks, you got a $15 shaker cup and a $10 gift card. And that meant that you already had the brand's goods in your hand. You had the barrier to entry to that second purchase already eliminated a bit, and you were already being indoctrinated into the community and emotionally attaching yourself, which is a tremendous leverage point when we were competing with other businesses that were just selling things on the shelf at places like GNC. So that $19 offer would give you a $15 shaker cup and a $10 gift card, as well as 6 other packets of shake, so that you could ultimately see if you liked the flavor, because that's why most people were coming to us. It wasn't because this was the first time they had tried meal replacement shakes. It was they were wanting to see if we were the right fit for them. And if they didn't like the flavor, well, then at least the price wasn't a barrier, and we could indoctrinate them through the community and through all the other offerings that we had. And with 6 meal replacement shakes, it gave them just enough time to build up a little bit of a routine, and they had a gift card to reduce that barrier to entry for the second purchase. And what was great was the women that you saw in all the comment sections of all the killer ads were the women who were also super active in the community. So there's this great continuity in that customer journey, which ultimately created a sense of belonging. And that is tremendously powerful for the consumer journey and really helped women feel at home, because to be fair, a lot of them were struggling, and having that emotional connection with something as personal as losing weight and hope is extraordinarily powerful. The point here is that discount was incredibly powerful, because $19 at 80% off versus $19 without the discount are two very different things. It wasn't actually an effort to compete on price, and that allowed people to trial the business and see if it was a good fit for them. And to be fair, this is where most people that use discounts get things horribly wrong. Where most people get things wrong is offering a 10 or 20% off discount that ultimately serves as just a little bit of a leverage point to attract those people who are most interested on price. Studies published at Forbes and Inc. magazine, where they interviewed chief marketing officers at these price-centric providers, have shown that 3 out of 5 customers in the marketplace, when they're interested in a specific product, will look to find a competitive item at a better price. Amazon ultimately weaponized this by introducing the Amazon Basics brand, where anything that pops off, they will rip you off and introduce it at a lower price and beat you because of globalization and money. The point here is that discounts should never be the tool ultimately used to win a customer, because somebody with more funding or a better business model, or who's willing to spend more money, or who's just not any good at business, is willing to get a better discount or a better price to that customer. And if that's the only reason they're interested in you, you will lose them, even if they've already bought from you before. The idea of acquiring a customer is basically a fallacy in the modern era of direct-to-consumer marketing. So how do we fix this problem? Well, let's take one really specific lesson from that $310 offer. The most important part of that $19 offer was the $10 gift card. When we introduced that $10 gift card, what we noticed was the LTV of the average customer went from $80 to $100 to several $100s. The amount of customers that came back and bought from the brand a second or a third time more than tripled. And why is that? It's part of the reason is because gift cards ultimately imply future intent. And if you want to pull in some girl math, if you're taking a $19 offer with a $10 gift card and a $15 shaker cup, you actually save $6 right away for doing it. Well, let's say it's a $19 offer with a $10 gift card and a $15 shaker cup. I make $5 right away if I'm the buyer, and if I don't like this, I still have a $10 gift card to go out and buy other things from this business. I'm already way ahead, and if I don't like the product, this deal is still so good, it's stupid to not take it. If you look at the DNA of that offer that was introduced back in 2018, it very closely matches Alex Hormozi's $100 million offer book that came out a couple of years later. So let's get into another case study for the gift card, this time featuring another business that a lot of you know me from. Let's leap forward from the days of 310 Nutrition more towards the summer of 2021. At the time, there was a brand called Under Outfit that had joined the Facebook Ads MBA program. By the way, shout out right there. There's a QR code for the Facebook Ads MBA program. Scan that if you want to know more about what we're talking about. Hundreds of people have gone through it, and nobody's ever asked for a refund. That is probably the single best investment you can make in yourself, and yourself is the best investment you can make for your bank account. All right, getting to this. Under Outfit joined the Facebook Ads MBA program in the summer of 2021, and they were doing about $50,000 a month. So what did we do so that within a year and a half we were doing $1 million a week? Well, let me tell you. So we knew that our hero product was pretty strong. It happened to be a comfort shaping bra. And we later introduced a buy 3 get 1 free offer to kind of help people get to that next level. And that really helped us get to an LTV of, let's say, $100 to $125. And that was generally 2 or 3 sales over 3 to 6 months. And we found that we had some brand diehards, but in that space, we were competing against brands like Skims. And of course, you have big, huge juggernauts in the space like Spanx. And we had ultimately tried to come up with other offers, but we could not beat through this LTV. So we went back to the drawing board. So what if we could beat that in one transaction? And what we ultimately did, and you can go to the site and see this today, is we decided to offer a $200 gift card for $150. Now you might say, oh, you're giving away $50. But also, who's interested in that gift card? You're not buying the gift card because you've never seen the brand before. You're not buying the gift card because you've never purchased from us before. You're buying that gift card because you probably purchased from us once or twice, and you're like, wow, this is just free money. I have to take advantage of it. And if our product is, say, $40 and you're saving $50 buying that gift card, you get something for free, and you're still saving $10. Now, of course, not everybody takes this offer, but it did mean that you could take advantage of a buy three, get one free and get a $200 gift card for $150. Now, when you take that upsell on the transaction, your AOV goes from maybe $40 to $60 to well over $200. That's on the first transaction. That's a 5x lift. The beauty of this is that we're not just raising the AOV on that first transaction, we're also encouraging somebody to take that buy three, get one free offer, and if they already have the $200 gift card, they're far more likely to come back and spend even more money with us. Now, here's a fun fact from the folks at Guthy-Renker and something proven by Starbucks. And again, what we're talking about here is what Starbucks did, how they turned themselves into a bank. Over 30% of gift card value goes unclaimed. You're paying me $150 to spend $135, and I get that money on day one. And what this does for the business, just like we saw with 310, was it massively scaled the cash flow because we now got more money up front and those people were more likely to buy again and again and again. So the LTV of the customer went through the roof. This isn't a 30-40% lift. This is a 2 to 3 to 4 or 5x lift in customer value and a 2 to 3x multiple on the second purchase rate. And that's ultimately because we've been leveraging brand affinity. And poker players know this. It's like being pot committed. You've already spent so much because you liked it a little bit. Now you're just saving money in the future. This is actually a really old retail psychology trick. More expensive products have a greater brand loyalty even amongst people who haven't purchased the product yet. It's not uncommon for people to behave like this. In fact, one of the best-selling products from Gucci is their cheapest handbag. And very famously, studies that have been conducted on Rolex, which is perceived as a very large luxury brand, have found that the average income of the Rolex buyer is $75,000 to $120,000 a year. The point here is when you use a gift card, instead of devaluing the business, you're actually raising brand affinity. And when somebody buys from you, there's a larger profit margin in that initial transaction and a greater likelihood that they're gonna come back and buy from you again. And when those people buy from you in the future, they're far less adverse to making purchases without discounts, meaning that each additional transaction also carries a larger margin with it, which can improve the LTV on any one of those specific transactions by 20 to 50%. And if those people buy more often, which they will, you can see a multiple on your LTV of 2 to 3x, meaning that those additional transactions carry a higher margin on them as well. So your LTV can be 20 to 50% higher even on the same number of purchases. And at least in my experience, the amount of customers that go from buying once to buying a second or a third time can go up between 200 and 300%. And of course, if they're buying a gift card, they're giving you that money up front, basically maturing your full LTV or getting more than it on the first sale. That's tremendous. If you can pull an entire year's worth of transaction value into the first transaction, if your lifetime value of a customer is $125 and you can sell them a $200 gift card for $150 as an upsell on a $40 item, you're getting $190. You've lifted their LTV by 50% on day one, and they're far more likely to buy from you again. What this means is you might pay more to acquire that initial transaction, but that customer is worth far more to you, not just today, but also in the future. And the likelihood of that customer buying from you again is a lot higher. And we're not talking 20 to 30%, we're talking 200 to 300% higher, with each additional transaction being at a larger margin because they're not buying on a discount. This has a dramatic impact on cash flow and lifetime value. And again, I've seen this happen at 310 where the LTV went from 30 to 80 bucks to 200-300, and at Under Outfit where it went from maybe $100 to several $100s, and it's still climbing to this day because those people still come back because ultimately you are creating great brand affinity where you become the default choice for transactions. You become a trusted person where they no longer think about price and they're just solving needs. That's where you want to be. So how do we take action on this? Well, let me introduce one more case study. There's a brand called Glow25, and they're out of Germany. And we'll say somebody in their marketing team joined the Facebook Ads MBA program a couple years ago. They did 70 million euro last year. They didn't start out that big, but that's where they've gotten since joining, by the way. So we had a conversation about how to improve their business. And we said, how do we get a gift card to be worth the average value of the LTV at current value? What this means is if the average person spends X amount of money on the first sale, let's say it's 50 bucks, or for them it's euro. And we know that the LTV of a customer is, say, 100. How can we beat that 100 LTV by getting the first transaction AOV to be over 100? Well, you can't do that by running a discount. And you surely can't do that by offering cash back. If you want to increase the AOV on that first sale, while also improving the second purchase rate, and have a force multiplying impact on the LTV for all future transactions afterward, offering a gift card is the easiest way to get it done. So if we were to offer, say, a 100 euro gift card for, say, 75, that's a 25% discount. And with breakage, we know that that is actually going to be somewhere between 65 and 70 euro redeemed, meaning there's a 5% margin of profit just from breakage. And we get that money on day one. Now, I'm very excited to see the business impact of that on their next year. And I think they are very assuredly going to be getting into the 9-figure range, which is, again, just another massive success. And I love to see it. And there's a reason why I've been able to do this for multiple brands for multiple years, over and over again. As long as you have more than just a product, if you are a business with multiple transaction points, this is something anybody can leverage. And the TLDR here is fairly simple. You can either compete on price to make the performance marketer happy, because you get a customer for a lower price at the very front end of the business, depending on your attribution. And doing so, bring in a wide variety and a very high volume of very low quality customer, and make it nearly impossible to understand what the commonalities of those customers are so you can improve the customer journey. Remember that video that we did a couple weeks ago of the funnel ends at the sale and the money is made in that customer journey? If everybody looks different at the top of the funnel, your ability to get somebody to buy a second time is substantially more difficult. You can focus on the ROAS of the first sale, or you can focus on profitable scaling margin. You can move from being an ego-based performance marketer looking at ROAS, and you can be a growth marketer or a CMO looking at cash flow and the future growth of your business. You can prioritize financial health instead of your ego. One of these ultimately means that you're gonna end up running a bunch of cost caps in Advantage Plus and PMAX to get to the lowest possible CPA you possibly can on any offer that you can possibly run to get the highest margin on day one that you possibly can. And if you get really good at it and your business model is phenomenal, you might get to a mid-7-figure business. If you run it for years and get some people actually interested in coming back with your retention marketing, you might even be able to get to the low 8 figures. The other option helps you tap into fractional banking, and where those performance marketers are happy on their 10, 20, 30% growth, you can get 2 to 3 to 400% growth annually. I've proven that again, year over year, over and over again, looking at 310 Nutrition, 15 to 120 months. And you look at Under Outfit, 50K a month to $1 million a week in less than 18 months. This happens over and over and over again. And we're about to see Glow 25 go up to 9 figures, which is amazing. And these are brands that were basically started on the credit card of the owner. These are bootstrap businesses. These aren't businesses that can afford to lose money because they're huge. They're at that place now because they prioritize that financial health, that cash flow. They've had their money working harder for them. They've started to get to every day is nice kind of money. Their money is working harder for them kind of money. They know where their bread is getting buttered and where their fish is getting fried, and they got checks in the mailbox before they wake up kind of money. We're talking cash flow at a profit that's projectable and sustainable. There's ultimately a golden rule here that I want to leave you with. The second sale is far more profitable than the first, and it's a lot easier to get. The point of the first purchase isn't to make money. It's to start a customer journey with multiple higher margin transactions that is both projectable and knowable. And then you can work on making each touch point of that journey more and more profitable. And then take a little bit of that profit margin and dump it back into the top of your machine. Return on ad spend is a metric that will cripple your business. Profitable scaling margin is a metric that'll make you filthy rich. When we see the performance marketers of the world that cost cap and claim huge, massive successes in Q4 and Q5, and then say the machine is broken come mid-February, which we see every single year, and they also struggle mightily during the summer. What we see is they played the victim of blaming their tools, but really the problem was they were looking at money in the wrong way. The real operators, the brand builders, the folks who know that cash flow is far more important than day one margin, the folks that know that building a brand means that first sale is a lead. Those folks continue to see growth each individual month that's at the same scale the performance marketers claim as a success year over year. I had a conversation with the owner-operator of a very famous cost cap ad agency about the growth of his personal business, and he was very proud that over the last year he had grown 30% on a business that was apparently seasonal and got to the low 8-figure. In the same amount of time, I had taken multiple businesses and grown them by 300 to 500%. Performance marketers don't give you growth in your business. And sure, hacking the funnel is one of the easiest ways to get easy money. But building brand affinity and securing future cash flow, that's the easiest way to earn 10 times as much money tomorrow. If you were to build the tallest building you possibly could and you had 7 days to do it, you would do it in a fundamentally different way than if you had 7 years. If you had more time, you would have the intention of digging as deep as you could and building the most solid foundation so that when the wind came and ultimately toppled over what you built in 7 days, you'd be looking down on it from your apartment in the sky on your much bigger, stronger machine. The point here is this. I want you to start thinking about long-term growth. And I want you to start thinking about the acquisition of revenue in a profitable and sustainable way. That beautiful house that I was at earlier today, that wasn't acquired because somebody was really good at selling one thing once. In order to get rich, you need to have money coming in every day. You don't get there by having to go out and sell every single day to every single person. You get out there by building something that doesn't need you to do that. Relying on your performance marketing is not an asset, it's a liability. And the way that I have helped operators build 8 and 9-figure businesses was never on trying to help them get the best CPA. I gave that CAC conversation up in 2018. Instead, we've been focusing on how to build brand affinity so that we can earn customer loyalty and get checks in the mailbox that are greater than our normal daily spend every single day. I'll close with this. By the time I left 310 Nutrition, our retention revenue on a daily basis was 30% more than we spent on acquisition. And we were able to lose 20 cents on the dollar at acquisition. So I'm gonna leave you with a couple one-liners to hopefully get you something that you come away with this. All right, here we go. Number 1, discounts and cash back are two sides of the same coin in reducing acquisition costs, but they don't build value. Number 2, price-conscious consumers are overwhelmingly less loyal, which is damaging to the overall value of your customers. Number 3, gift cards imply future intent, making them a strategic asset in fostering much higher value long-term relationships. Number 4, over 30% of gift card value never gets used, but its psychological impact on customer loyalty is priceless. And the last thing I'm gonna leave you with is this, and it's super simple. The point of the first purchase is not to make a profit. It's to ultimately access future cash flow. Return on ad spend is a vanity metric of a performance marketer. Profitable scaling margin is what will make you filthy rich. And with that being said, I want to give a big thanks to my buddy Nick for inviting me to that lovely house today. And to you all, I want to challenge you to start changing the way that you look at the acquisition of revenue and understand that your business is not about making a profit today. Yes, you need to pay your bills, but your business is about making your money work hard for you in a way that produces future value, and that each additional transaction from every new customer is one where you make a larger margin. The first sale is a lead. It's validation. It's not the end of the customer journey. And with that being said, once again, thank you very much. There's the QR code for the Facebook Ads MBA program. I know you found these videos valuable, so down over there, like, subscribe, ring the bell, smash the button, all sorts of things. And no baby girl today, so it's just me and one of my puppies. And once again, thank you also to Dandy Del Mar. This is gorgeous, love it, thank you. And yeah, it's sunset time in Hollywood, and I'm gonna go enjoy it. Until next time, I'll see you on the internet. Bye.